So we already know, like, the whole car market is like really screwed up. There's plenty of videos out there talking about the price of these cars, the dealer markups, all of that, and talking about how dealerships can't move cars and all that type of stuff. I know I've talked about it myself in some previous videos, but there's another factor going on that's going to make it's going to really hurt you if you're looking to maybe take your RT and upgrade to a Scatpack, take your Scatpack and upgrade it to a Hellcat. Yeah, there's another huge factor that's going to play into that, and it's going to make doing that right now maybe not such a good idea. Let me go ahead and drop the intro, and we're going to get into it and talk about it. YouTube family, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you're new here, we do a lot of car related things on this particular channel, and you're in the right place for car things. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe and like the video, do all that type of stuff. If you already done that and been rocking with me on this YouTube thing, appreciate y'all for locking in and supporting the channel, but we'll not hold you too long. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of today's video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail, so I know we talked a lot on this channel about the car prices, the dealer markups, how cars have gone up in price, how dealers aren't getting rebates, how the inventory is all over the place, but car prices aren't coming down. We've talked a lot about that. We've talked about, like, you know, if you're going to get a car right now may not be the best time and things of that nature. But main thing we focus on for the most part is the price of the car itself. But I want to talk a little bit more about something that is also going to impact your ability to get a car at a good price. There's a couple other factors, I should say, and I want to mention that and let you know how, if you're looking to upgrade your car right now, how if you're in an RT and you want to get a Scatpack because it's the last year model for these particular cars, if you're in a Scatpack trying to get a Hellcat before you can't get a new one anymore, and I want to make sure that, you know, you consider all factors here. So let's get into that. So the first thing about these cars, and with any car really, this is gonna, I know I talk mainly about Dodge and Mopar and stuff like that, but this really gonna impact really any car you buy, no matter if you're trying to, you know, get a Mustang, you're trying to get a Camaro, it doesn't matter. It's gonna impact anything you're buying right now. Yeah, prices are up, but another thing that is up in how most people buy their cars, these interest rates are right now are higher than they were before, and that is going to play a huge factor as to how much it costs to get these cars. I know we talk about price a lot on this channel because of the fact that, you know, when you go to the dealership, that's the first thing you see. You see the price first. You don't see anything else first. You see your price first, so you know whatever you're going to pay, you're going to start at that amount. But these interest rates is also going to play a factor as to how much it's going to cost out of your pocket to buy one of these cars. And of course, I mean, most people know what these are interest rates, you know, that's pretty much how much it's going to cost you or to finance the car. Most people are going to finance the car. Nothing wrong with financing the car. Only thing that's wrong with it if you're financing a car outside your means. But a lot of people finance these cars. Most people will. I know some people gonna buy it straight up cash, whatnot. But like I said, most people are going to finance the car. And these interest rates, I'm gonna give you kind of comparison of what you're looking at with interest rates right now. Now, I bought my car back in 2022, and interest rates was in a better spot at that point. So in 2022, this is kind of the range of interest rates you were looking at. You were looking at about 4% for a new car, and about these are averages, right? Average of 4% for a new car and 8.62% for used cars. Yes, on used cars, they charge you a higher interest rate because they know that car's a little bit cheaper. And a lot of times they're trying to entice you to buy the newer car, but interest rates on used cars are higher. And so what it looked like at that point in 2022, if you got excellent credit, then you can get like a 2.9% interest rate. And if your credit is poor, you're looking at a 12 28.8% or for a new car, and 20.4% for a used car. So you can see kind of the range there, what you're looking at for credit for your interest rate. About 2.9% on the low end, all the way up to 12.84% on the high end. When it comes to new cars, and for used cars, 3.68% on the low end, and on the high end, you're looking at 20.43%. But as we all know, yesterday's price is not today's price. So for 2023, this is what you're looking at for as an interest rate. Average 6.63% for a new car and 11.38% for a used car. That is up from 4% for a new and 8.62% for used. So right there, you can see where this is going. You buy a car this year for the exact same price you bought a car last year, your payments are going to be higher this year, and nothing, and just because of that one factor right there. And now, as far as kind of like with the different credit ranges and stuff of that nature, like if you got like good credit, with good credit this year, if you have pretty much perfect credit on a new car, you're paying 5%. 5% compared to last year, 5% is good credit. It's just good. I mean, you have excellent and good. Top tier credit is getting you good credit last year interest rates. So you can see how everything has shifted. So pretty much you take whatever, if you got excellent credit, your interest rate is going to be like good credit this year type of thing, right? So you're looking at like 5% average APR for a new car if you got good credit. And if you got kind of bad credit, you're looking at 14.8% on a new car. But if it's used, you're getting killed. 7% on the good end of stuff. And 21% on the high end. So you can see how things have shifted, right? And so like these interest rates is really going to play a factor in how much you're going to buy these cars for. Like I said, we see the sticker price on these cars, like say $60,000 for a particular car, $50,000 for a particular car. That is going to add a couple of extra $1,000 on top of that car, just simply because of the fact that the interest rates have went up. So let's put this also into perspective here. I know in a lot of my videos, I show you cars like Scatpacks and RTs that are going for like $60,000 or things like that. And it never fails. Everyone mentions like, I can go get a used Hellcat for that price, which is true. But the thing about it is right now with these interest rates, and I mean, this is always true with a used car. If you buy a used Hellcat for $60,000 versus buying a new Scatpack for $60,000, you're actually going to pay more for the used Hellcat just because of the fact it is used, right? I mean, there's some other factors in there. It could really depend on how much money you put down and things of that nature. But I mean, given all things are equal, you're going to pay more for the used car. And on top of the interest rates and stuff like that, another factor is going to really hurt you if you're looking to try to upgrade your car, trying to upgrade out of that RT or Scatpack or whatever you may have, is I mentioned before, and I think a lot of people mention this, dealerships have inventory now. A few years ago, the inventory wasn't there, so dealerships was really begging people to trade cars and giving people a lot of money for their trade-in and things of that nature. There's been multiple cases where someone had bought a car at a certain time and traded in at the right time and actually got more than what they paid for the car. Like literally more. Like you buy a car for $40,000 because the shortage was so bad. They paid you like $43,000 to get the car from you just because they didn't have inventory. Now that's not the case. These dealerships have inventory galore, and I had a video a few videos ago that showed that these dealerships are overflowing with inventory. They have cars galore. So what does that mean for you? That means if you go to trade in your car, you're not going to get as much as you would have gotten maybe a couple years ago. They don't need your car like that. They have the inventory there. They want to get the inventory gone. They don't need more cars sitting on their lots right now. So you got this car, you're trying to trade it in, you're not going to get top dollar for it. Interest rates are horrible right now. You're going to pay more this year for a car than you would have last year, given everything else the same. But they're not the same. We all know the prices went up. So it's not really looking good. Now, I know it sounds like I'm telling you to not buy a car or anything like that. Now, by any means, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying there are other factors that go into purchasing a car. And depending on your situation, you know, you got to look at it yourself. I don't know what everyone's situation is, of course, but I'm just giving you the other things to consider outside of the price. If your situation allows it and you can swing it and can still live your life, I mean, by all means, go for it. But if you're kind of on the fence, like, I don't know, I'm not liking the price of thing, then you probably need to go with your gut and not mess with it. Too many factors right now are causing these cars to be more expensive than they ever before. I mean, Dodge has already hiked up the prices on these cars. Dealerships have thrown markups on top of that. Then you got to also think about, you see a $60,000 car or $50,000 car, you got to add your taxes on there, your interest. So all that stuff's got to get financed, right? All that stuff's got to get financed, and now your $50,000, $60,000 car is flirting with $60,000, $70,000, right? Which may not have been the case a few years ago. And on top of that, because there's so much inventory out, because dealerships are marking things up, there's no rebates on stuff. So dealers aren't going to break on prices because they know they're playing on the fact that this is the last year for the car. Get it now or miss out on it or whatnot. They're going to still be around on these lots for another year or so at least. I mean, they're all not going to get bought up, but dealers going to play on that fear of missing out and hike these prices up. And you couple that with high interest rates and low trading values, you're definitely going to be in a bad spot. But nonetheless, like, the numbers have to make sense for you. And I know a lot of people have asked or came in my comments say, man, I see certain people upgrading to Hellcats from Scatpacks and stuff like that. Like, when you going to upgrade? When you going to go and get your Hellcat? Yeah, I know I'm rocking a Hellcat Demon hoodie in my Scatpack. Now, the dealership gave me this because I shot with them, and then they gave me the hoodie for buying the car from them. And that's the number of reasons. Numbers don't make sense to me. And plus, I just got this car. I mean, I'm barely, I'm maybe like a year and a half with this car, I think about a year and a half of having this car. So I'm not in any rush to go get a car and get a Hellcat or whatnot. I've never been the type to trade in cars in and out a lot. But I mean, number one, I mean, I just got the car. Number two, none of the numbers make sense for me personally. I know how much I want to pay a month, and I know what it takes to get to that point with some of these cars. And I'm not be able to get there, man. I gotta make sure my mortgage get paid. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure my car stays in the garage. I gotta make sure all that stuff happens. I gotta make sure the family eats and stuff like that. But that's just me, you know. Maybe your situation's different. And I like to live life too. You know, I like to live life too. So, but like I said, situations may be different. Right now, I'm not even looking at that. And plus, my interest rate. Let me say that my interest rate when I got this car. I mentioned the different, you know, levels of interest rates and stuff like that. I'm in that 2% range with this car. I'm not going to get a 2% range. Even if somehow, some way I'm able to get to finance the same amount I financed with this particular car on another car, I'm going to end up paying more. And I don't want to do that. I personally don't want to do that. So those are some factors you really got to consider with this car market right now. Prices, like I said, ugly. Dealership markups, ugly. Interest rates, ugly. Trade-in values, ugly. All this stuff right now is just a perfect storm of just not getting the car. I mean, that's why these dealership lots are full right now. But by all means, if everything works out for you and you can get it how you need it, you can get the car price where you want to get it. You can do all that type of stuff how you want to get it. Then, you know, go ahead and pull the trigger. I'm just saying, if you're on the fence about it and you're unsure and you need some convincing or not convincing, that's my thought on it. When will the interest rates come down? I have no clue. I don't know that. Will the price of these cars come down? I don't think Dodge is going to budge on these prices. There might be some dealerships out there that may budge on the prices, but most of them are not. And that's kind of one of the things here. Like, the price of these cars, you can kind of play with that a little bit. If you don't like the price of a car at a certain dealership, you can maybe go to another dealership and find a dealership that's going to work with you on the price. Interest rate, you can't do that. There's no way to beat the interest rate. It's whatever your credit score is what you're going to have for your interest rate. You can't go and beat that. I mean, you can maybe check a couple of places, but you start pulling your credit score too many times, it's gonna make it go down some. You see what I'm saying? You start getting those hard inquiries and stuff like that. It's gonna hurt you a little bit on that. Anyway, you can't get around the interest rates, man. You can't get around what these dealers gonna offer for these cars now. Now, that is just my thoughts on what's going on now. As I said, man, if you are looking to upgrade, make sure everything makes sense. Don't let these dealerships put you in a bad deal. You know, don't mess around and be getting these cars up you upside down. That's another thing. If you bought one of these RTs or something a couple of years ago and you paid the markup on it and now you're trying to trade it in, I know you're stuck. You're probably stuck with the car. Markups are never good to pay because it doesn't change the value of the car at all. The car is valued at what it is, and the markup is not going to change the value. So if you're upside down, you either need to come with some way to get from being upside down or just get the car paid off or something of that nature, or until you get in the right side up or whatnot. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts as well. Has the current car market discouraged you from getting another car? I've seen a lot of comments that saying, yeah, they're not messing with cars right now. It's not wise to do so right now. But as I stated, man, if things are in your favor some way, shape, or form, I will not discourage you from doing it. Go ahead and do it. Just make sure you do not get bent over trying to get in one of these cars because they're saying you can't get one anymore. Just be patient. I think things may work out, but right now, I mean, it just looks ugly. It's just ugly around the board, man. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you for tuning in, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things on here. We want you around for all that. We will catch you on the next video. We are out. Cut it.